All right, Fox News hosts are increasingly admitting there is no evidence of criminality against President Joe Biden. My question to you is, does it even make a damn difference anymore? Eric Swalwell says it doesn't. Eric Swalwell says they are determined to impeach Joe Biden so that there will be parity. Trump was impeached, Biden was impeached. The idea being you take it off the table as a voting issue. But increasingly, even on Fox News, hosts, anchors, and guests are admitting a lot of conjecture, a lot of ledgers, a lot of paperwork and copies of checks, but nothing actually linking Joe Biden to a crime. I would go even further. We don't even really have evidence in most of these claims that a crime has been committed by anyone, never mind that Joe Biden was involved in it. So let me remind you what we've been seeing. Yesterday, I played this clip for you. Here's Steve Doocy with his co-hosts looking like they're at a funeral as he mentions this. Steve Doocy saying they haven't actually shown that Biden did anything that is against the law. This is Fox News, mind you.
Absolutely. If they have the stuff. The Republicans at this point don't have, they've got a lot of ledgers and spreadsheets, but they have not connected the dots. They've connected the dots, the Department of Justice did on Hunter, but They have not shown where Joe Biden, did anything illegally.
That's exactly right. Do they care is a different question, but Steve Doocy is completely correct. Apparently running slightly in the family, fellow Fox News reporter and Steve Doocy's son, Peter Doocy, also now pointing out yesterday, the House Oversight Committee has been at this for years. They've been doing this since Joe Biden became president of the United States. They have no concrete evidence that Joe Biden had any profit motive from the business dealings of Hunter Biden. Does the apple not fall far from the tree? I don't know. Listen to this.
The House Oversight Committee has been at this for years, and they have so far not been able to provide any concrete evidence that Joe Biden personally profited from his son Hunter's overseas business. But they are going to try again with this impeachment inquiry that's set to start next week.
And this is an important detail. They don't have the evidence, and therefore they're launching an impeachment inquiry. They're launching an impeachment inquiry with the idea that maybe they can go fishing and find some evidence. And this has been going on for a while now. So Fox News, you've got your propagandists at night, Sean Hannity, Laura Ingraham, and others. They will play coy. They won't say we have the evidence, but they will certainly imply that their guests are making those claims, even though the guests never actually do. But for a while now, Republican elected officials, when you really press them, they admit they don't have evidence. Here is Nancy Mace. This was a couple of months ago, 3 months ago, saying, I don't actually have any evidence, but we're looking for it. But part of what we're doing is we're trying to find the evidence.
Let me also ask you, before you go, the impeachment inquiry that McCarthy announced, even though he had said he wouldn't do it without a vote, and then a few days later he does it without a vote. I want to read you something that Ken Buck, one of your Republican colleagues, had to say in a Washington Post op-ed of the impeachment inquiry. He said, impeachment is a serious matter and should have a foundation of rock-solid facts. Trump's impeachment in 2019 was a disgrace to the Constitution and is a disservice to Americans. The GOP's reprise in 2023 is no better. He says these allegations against the Biden family are part of an imagined history and a fictitious version of events. Was this premature, going all the way with an impeachment inquiry?
I don't believe so. The facts are everywhere. There are text messages, there are emails, there are witnesses, there are whistleblowers, there are meetings, there are phone calls, there are dinners, and you can't
There were dinners, guys.
Hey, there's a little bit of smoke, we're not going to follow the fire. And the inquiry, my understanding is, as you said earlier, gives us expanded subpoena powers. I want the bank records of Joe Biden. All of that should be on the table to prove out the allegations in the SARS reports. We're talking about a significant sum of money. We are talking about bribery. And in the Constitution, Article 2,
we know they're talking about bribery. There just happens to be no evidence of it.
Section 4, that is the basis for impeachment.
There's no evidence of bribery.
There are witnesses, the 1023 form. There are,
And you've been investigating. I mean, you're on the oversight.
There is evidence. We can't say that there's no evidence when there is evidence. And quite frankly,
there's no evidence.
It was the fourth estate. It was the media and journalists when Nixon was going down that helped do that investigation, helped bring down the president when he broke the law. And And, you know, you guys want to deny that there's evidence. It's everywhere. And the bank records will prove it out.
All right, we will see. I haven't seen much yet.
Notice she didn't cite it. There are dinners that prove what? There are bank records which show what? When they're pressed, they can't cite evidence. Here's another example. This is supposedly reasonable Republican Michael McCall. He also says, well, listen, we don't actually have evidence, but maybe someday we'll find it.
That's right. Well, first of all, I've been tasked by the Speaker to assist the oversight and government reform. With respect to foreign policy decisions the president may have made or vice president at that time with respect to money coming in to try to tie the two. We don't have the evidence now, but we may find it later.
They may find it later, but they want to do the impeachment inquiry now. Do the impeachment inquiry now without the evidence. Maybe the evidence will stumble into our laps. I could play these clips all day. I'll play one more for you. This one's new. This is Congressman Tom Tiffany being interviewed by Maria Bartiromo. She says, what's the most damning piece of evidence? She's like teeing it up. Give us the meat. Give us what is the most incriminating fact you can give us? And he just rehashes debunked stuff about Burisma, which of course doesn't have anything to do with Joe Biden. This is the best he can do.
What do you think is the most damning piece of evidence?
I think the most damning piece of evidence is the $5 million that came from Burisma that really kicked this whole thing off, because then Vice President Biden confirmed it in an interview. He said, yeah, I shut down that investigation that Shokin was doing in the Ukraine. And there was $20 million that followed that.
Yeah, in the Ukraine, still using that outdated term. Remember that there has been no link whatsoever to Joe Biden related to those business dealings. So my question to you isn't, do you think that there's any evidence here that they've presented? Because if you look at this honestly, the answer is obviously they have presented no evidence. My question to you right now is, does it matter that there's no evidence if they claim there is? Republican voters seem increasingly okay with doing this, even with no actual evidence. Will it backfire? I believe there is a good chance that it will. They believe getting an impeachment on the record of Joe Biden helps Trump in 2024. Where do you come down? Let me know.